In this video, I'll be breaking down the single-hand best YouTube ad strategy for 2026 so you can make killer high-performing YouTube ads for your wholesale business. This is the exact creative strategy that we're deploying for 10 plus clients at my agency, and this will work in any market, whether you're in Alaska, New York City, or working with clients nationwide. So in 2022, 2023, the old way of marketing on YouTube ads for wholesale was you could just record a talking head video, run it basically forever and just hope that it works. Or you can just copy a competitor's script word for word, literally verbatim, and then wonder why the leads coming in are complete garbage. And it doesn't work anymore, because YouTube ads have become a little bit more competitive, although not nearly as competitive as the other platforms like Facebook and Google, which I've broken down in the video. But regardless, apart from that, the psychographics and just the psychology in general of marketing has changed. You need a systematic creative flywheel that constantly tests new concepts because people's fatigue has gone up, people's distrust has gone up, and you need to hit on new angles to touch on different people's pain points in order to solve more specific, tailored problems. So what I have is a systematic, what I call creative flywheel that constantly tests concepts, iterates on winners, and stacks proven ads, and is tailored for YouTube's bidding and audience signals that volume alone will not work. Because you need high win rate creatives, not just more ads in general. Because you need to figure out which systems are actually working or what ads are actually working so you can build an actual system that actually ends up working out long term so you have a machine and not just simply some sort of garbage, one ad system that ends up fatiguing and just not working long term. Now, most people get stuck at the next step, which is actually creating the ads and the scripts themselves. And so they need some inspiration or they need some sort of reference in order to go and create the ads. So what I recommend is figuring out a couple of different sources in order to compare your ads to, etc. And the sourcing concepts that I recommend first is the YouTube ad or Google Ads Transparency Center. This is where you can search competitors, local investors, or national We Buy Houses brands, and wholesaling educators as well, just to see what ads they're running. So what that would look like is something like this. So basically, I already did it, but what you can do is just type in cash offer. If you know a local competitor, type in their website and it'll pop up here. Now, what you can do is you can sort this by just on YouTube, all formats, and click on video, and then all the video ads will pop up. And as you can see, this person's running a lot of different variations. This is probably a good ad account. As you can see, it was last shown today's date, or the date of recording this, February 21st. And what you're going to do, basically what you can do is just click on the ad itself. You can click the share button on the top left. Now, this is actually a YouTube short, what I don't recommend, but that's beside the point. Open the new link in the tab. So you're going to click the three dots up here, click on the description, and you can see this was launched 6 months ago, or basically 6 months ago. Actually, almost exactly 6 months ago. But anyway, the point is, this ad's been running for a while. It's probably performing really well. So this is something that's considered good. So what you can then do is copy this, type in YouTube to transcript, and then just go to this website here is really good. And then you can literally just take the transcript right off of your competitor and just compare and contrast, see what frameworks they're using. You can even plug it into AI and ask what frameworks and what structure the ad creative is that's actually working and what makes it a winner. Okay, now it's done. And basically what you'll do is you'll just scroll down here and you can see the actual creative itself. So you can have timestamps on or off, copy it, and then basically just paste that into a Google Doc. Now, a more advanced method, what you can do is essentially use tools like VidTail or AdSpy, and these are gonna track YouTube ad creatives that have gone off of the YouTube Ads Transparency Center, and it'll show you things like estimated spend and how long the ads have been live, although I just showed you a little method on how you can do that with the free method. Typically, if an ad's been running for more than 30 to 60 days, or honestly, if it's been running for longer than 90 days, it's definitely a proven winner. If it's been running longer than 30 to 60 days, it's probably also a winner, so you can use that as well. So you just look for ads that have been running the longest and look at their common hooks that they've been using, formats or offers across multiple different investors, and then concepts from other markets as well, just to find the unifying factor that's working across every single market that you could implement in your business to actually have effective ads. The next thing you want to do is the actual actionable steps, which is just launching and testing the ads. So, you want to run new creatives inside of what I call a dedicated testing campaign, which is similar to campaign budget optimization structure. But the difference here is what you want to do is launch new ads within different ad groups instead of different campaigns. You can do both. Typically, what I see is it's just easier to manage. It's going to take less time to set up, and it's just time efficient. But If you're running into an issue and you have the bandwidth, I would just create separate campaigns that have different creatives that you want to test. If you're running the dedicated testing campaign, what you can also do is you can force spend on new ads. So let's say if 1 to 2 ads within like 10 different ads you have in an ad group are not performing or not getting enough spend, what you can do is take those 2 ads out and create them and isolate them in their own campaign and give it its own individual spend. And just give it a 7-day grace period. Essentially, that's going to budget optimize for the maximum amount of results. 5 days is Google's bidding strategy. I give it a 2 extra days just to ensure the algorithm is actually effectively learning, because unless you're running campaign budgets of like $250, $300 a day, 5 days is not really effective for maximizing the algorithm's learning capabilities. So what you can also do is track leads by concept as well. Just use unique landing pages and UTM parameters to ensure you know which ad has been generating which lead. If your CRM can track this stuff, great. And I will put in the description below also a UTM tracking code. Honestly, you can even comment it as well. I'll send it to you directly on what the template looks like when you want to just set it up to where you want to know which campaign, which ad group, and which ad the actual lead that you converted came from. Then what you want to do is also analyze on what's already working. So after the 7 days is over, just review the performance. What's the cost per lead like? Is it at or below your target? Are the leads responsive? Are they within your ICP? And then just look at your view rate and hook rate. If people are watching past the first 5 seconds, so look at 50% of your video, what you will do, we'll actually jump into the ad account in a minute and I'll show you this. If people are watching past the first 5 seconds, the hook is captivating people. If people aren't watching past, 50 seconds, but they're watching past the hook, maybe the body needs some work. And most of the time, the call to action doesn't really need work. So there's other factors involved, but just look out for these things as well. And you want to sort by spend and identify your standout winners from this data. And the number one thing I recommend for beginners is not to just look at the cost per lead in isolation, because a $30 lead that converts to a $10,000 assignment fee is way better than a $5 lead that ghosts you. More so what you want to be looking for as well is just the cost per contract or cost per assignment fee or cost per acquisition profit. That's really more important. But at the end of the day, cost per lead is really irrelevant when you're profitable and you're hitting your KPIs and your defined KPIs, what you should be setting before this, which I've broken down in a lot of other videos as well. So jumping into the ad account really quick here, as you can see, we have some spend going on. And basically, as you can see, you can have a filter where you can look at video played to. So as you can see, 34% of people are watching 25% of the video or more. This is what you want to look at, is the 50%. So if more than 20% of people are watching 50% of your ad or more, then you're in good state. You're in a good state. You're probably going to have a healthy cost per lead. You're probably going to have a healthy cost per contract, et cetera. And you can't have, higher than I've never seen higher than 50%. Playing to 50% of the video. Honestly, 25% is extremely healthy. And, 20% of people watching to 100% of the video is extremely healthy as well. Obviously, this was an outlier campaign. We spent well. We got some contracts out of it. But the point is, you want to make sure that at least, over 20% of people are watching, over 25% of the video, or at least 5 seconds of the hook. Because your ads shouldn't be, less than 30 seconds. And if that's the case, then 25% of the video will cover that 5-second grace period. What you then do once you find a winning campaign or set of campaigns, you want to iterate on those winners. So basically just have the same script, but you can use a different presenter. You just want to isolate different variables. Maybe you have the same hook, but have a different body. Swap the offer, the proof, or the call to action. Or you can have the same concept, just a different marketing angle. So if you had a probate winner, maybe you can switch to foreclosure. Or if you had a foreclosure winner, switch to divorce or a retired landlord, et cetera, et cetera. And then another thing you can do is, for example, is just maybe a same testimonial format. If you had that type of ad running, just a different seller story. Actually, that works out with the same exact concept as well. Let's say you had a testimonial from foreclosure, many different foreclosure testimonials. Now just switch to maybe more so divorced testimonials if you have videos. I highly recommend you take videos of the prospects that you have good business with, because if you don't, then you're just going to be behind, because the top performing agents or the top performing wholesalers, agents as well, are doing this in their ad campaigns, and they're just absolutely crushing and dominating it. Also, you can merge concepts as well, but every iteration feeds back into the testing campaign. You want to analyze and then iterate again. That is the common feedback loop that is going to get and guarantee you the highest success rate. And finally, what you want to do is concept stack. So over the next months, about 60 to 90 days, you're going to figure out that you have about 3 to 5 core concepts that actually consistently generate leads, and probably 1 of 2 of them that are generating you healthy costs per closed deal. So what you want to do is just identify each concept and the difference in which it performs. So concept A generates, let's say, for example, $20 a lead at high volume with a moderate close rate. Concept B generates $50 cost per lead, lower volume, but the sellers are actually ready to sign. And concept C generates a $15 cost per lead for cash buyers who actually have the proof of funds. And the point is, you want to run them all as long as the economics work out. Lead cost versus assignment fee or acquisition profit. If it's profitable, it's worth running. If it's not, obviously you're going to want to pause it. But don't just pause this guy right here, the $15 cost per lead, just because, maybe let's say, for example, the majority of people aren't actually looking to buy. If you end up with, again, let's say, for example, a ratio of like a 15 to 20x ROI, obviously you're winning. Just because the majority of the clients you didn't get to talk to didn't work out doesn't mean the campaign is not profitable, because this is what's going to become your most competitive moat. While other investors run one ad until your ad dies, you have the machine that holistically makes it happen. Now that I've shown you the best YouTube ad creative strategy for 2026, you're probably asking yourself, how do I actually implement these things into my business? Luckily for you, I've recorded an entire guide going over how to set up your YouTube ads account, how to set up the actual winning YouTube ads that build trust at scale, the lead magnets, and the follow-up systems that actually convert your audience into real clients. And I'll link that right here. That aside, this is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.